Hurricane Ian was a Category 1 storm on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. It originated from an area of low pressure near the Cabo Verde Islands on the 13th of September 2013. It moved westward and strengthened into a hurricane on the 16th, according to records. Its intensity peaked with maximum sustained winds of 75 miles per hour, 120 kilometers per hour, ranking it as a Category 1 storm on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. During its lifetime, Hurricane Ian passed through the Bahamas and threatened southeastern parts of the U.S. Ian traveled northwestward and made landfall in Nova Scotia on the 21st of September 2013, weakening to a tropical storm. Was the Joint Typhoon Warning Center's most destructive storm in 2013. With a minimum pressure of 975 mbar, it had devastating winds. Some estimated that the destroyed homes and damaged road networks cost over $1 million to rebuild. Fortunately, no deaths were directly attributed to the storm. The peak intensity of Ian was 70 knots or 80 miles per hour during September 16 to 17. Although Ian weakened after passing Florida, it still maintained a very consistent maximum sustained surface wind for several days. Its eye wall was quite large and well defined, and the pressure gradient remained fairly tight over Ian's lifetime. Ian weakened significantly after landfall in Nova Scotia on the 21st of September. Hurricane Ian was a fairly long-lived storm, surviving for 8 days as a tropical cyclone. Although Ian never reached a major hurricane intensity, the cyclone maintained Category 1 intensity for a total of 3 days. Hurricane Ian was the first storm to make landfall in Nova Scotia since Hurricane Arthur in 2014. It was deemed the second most intense storm of the 2013 Atlantic hurricane season, behind Tropical Storm Humberto. Hurricane Ian is an example of how even a Category 1 hurricane can be devastating, as it caused extensive flooding in both the Bahamas and Nova Scotia. The storm impacted coastal communities that are still feeling the effects to this day with economic struggles or environmental damage. Hurricane Ian was monitored closely by the National Hurricane Center and various private meteorologists. Experts determined numerous predictions about the storm's track and intensity from its formation to dissipating. The U.S. Air Force Reserve and Navy both assisted in tracking and forecasting Hurricane Ian. Meteorologists predicted that the storm would intensify, but did not anticipate its unusual longevity. Meanwhile, the Joint Typhoon Warning Center forecast that Ian would reach higher winds and pose a greater threat. Its intensity peaked as expected, with maximum sustained winds of 75 miles per hour, 120 kilometers per hour, and as a Category 1 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. For this reason, NOAA labeled Ian as a dry cyclone, a category that historical records revealed few Atlantic hurricanes have experienced.